is a presentation of HBO Sports.
Hello again, I'm Jim Lampley. Coming up November 19, HBO pay-per-view will take you live to Las Vegas for the year's most significant prize fight, the light heavyweight showdown between unbeaten challenger Andre Ward and unbeaten three-belt champion Sergey Kovalev. To help prepare you for that event, we're going to give you a look back now at the most important moment to this point in Kovalev's career, the night he was given a chance to prove that with his aggressive slugging style, he could handle a consummate all-around boxer. The opponent was living legend Bernard Hopkins, who even at age 49 was still regarded as a difficult test for the Russian star. The night was November 8, 2014, and there was a full house in Atlantic City's Boardwalk Hall with the overwhelming majority of fans in that house rooting for B-Hop. Here's how I called Kovalev Hopkins in company with Max Kellerman and Roy Jones.
Okay, gentlemen, we're scheduled to box 12 rounds for the unification light heavyweight championship of the world. I've gone over the rules in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Kovalev is no ordinary young fighter who's too green and not really all that set up here for Hopkins. He is a better than 2-to-1 favorite because he has been destroying everything they put in front of him. He's the most feared light heavyweight in the world. And yet a lot of old, wise boxing heads like Hopkins here, because this is just the style of fighter he's pulled it out against so many times before.
Kelly Pavlik was a solid favorite right here in Atlantic City. Antonio Tarver was a solid favorite right here in Atlantic City. Felix Trinidad was favored in Madison Square Garden. Hopkins embarrassed them all. But nothing lasts forever. Or does it?
See Kovalev come out with the feints early, taking his time, not wanting to commit, but I guarantee that Hopkins is going to try to hit him hard early to make him respect him.
One body shot by Hopkins. Kovalev, after all the talk about not going for the head, threw his first punch upstairs.
Yeah, but his first meaningful punch was that right to the body.
We remind you, Sergey Kovalev's trainer, John David Jackson, spent 5 years as an assistant to Nassim Richardson working with Bernard Hopkins. He also fought Hopkins as a middleweight. Many media people have jumped to the conclusion that Jackson can unlock the vault and give Kovalev the secrets that he needs to beat Hopkins. Hopkins says, hey, I schooled him in the ring. He was my student. How can he possibly teach Kovalev something about me? I was his teacher.
Let him go. Stop.
But Kovalev fights have this kind of tension because he does hit with both hands so hard that he can change a fight with any shot.
His head go.
Kovalev's the only fighter I can remember seeing in my ring commentary career knocking opponents down with jabs to the body. Not crooked punches to the liver or the solar plexus. Jabs. If he can land those kinds of shots on Hopkins, he'll put up an interesting test.
This is the Hopkins-paced round so far.
Very much so.
Yeah, but he got a lot of pressure on the alien. He's not allowing Hopkins to rest and relax. As you see, he got Hopkins constantly on the move. That's what you have to do to an older fighter. You got to constantly.
Down goes Hopkins on the first solid right hand that Kovalev threw. He has extraordinary power.
7, 8. One down, bro.
Hopkins was down twice against Jean Pascal. Came back to earn a draw in the fight. Kovalev had him down here in round 1.
And Kovalev better be careful now. Although you had him down, Hopkins is like a wounded animal. He's going to be throwing big punches back at Kovalev.
And Kovalev has shown that he will cut over both eyes, and Hopkins can cut you in a variety of ways. Punches, elbows, head, shoulder.
It's on. It's on in Atlantic City. It was dramatically and vibrantly on the moment that Kovalev landed that right hand and Hopkins went down. Crowd is into it now.
everything's good, everything's good. They must think this is an ordinary dude in front of you. Brother, I ain't no ordinary dude. I know what it is. I ain't worrying about this. Need the investments. As you can see, you can make this dude miss like all the rest of them. I just need my chain. I need them investments.
You see Kovalev make Hopkins ball up in that corner, and as Hopkins tried to come out, Kovalev was ready and countered that jab with a straight right over the top.
Not even stepping into the punch. Didn't even look like that was a full Kovalev power shot.
It wasn't, and it doesn't have to be, long as it has the speed on it. And Bernard, you got to remember, is 49 years old. That's the toughest thing for an older fighter, is absorbing those punches.
That's John David Jackson's reaction in Kovalev's corner. If you watch the first replay very carefully, you can see Kovalev's promoter, Kathy Duva, rise out of her seat and thrust her hand in the air.
Meantime, it was Kovalev at the end of the round that looked to touch gloves with Hopkins like he wanted to make friends. Curious after the big round and knockdown by Kovalev.
One thing Kovalev did in that round was like he's doing now. He's not allowing Hopkins to take his time and rest. He's making him use his legs a lot. And that's what most young fighters don't do. But what he better realize is that Hopkins is smart and is going to be punching his body to try to wear him down as these fights go on, as these rounds go on.
Kovalev swung big with the right hand a moment ago. Couldn't make the contact he made in round one. But he's got Hopkins in his sights. And he looks way more confident than most Hopkins opponents have ever looked in this position. Going to the body.
You're seeing why no one wants to get in the ring with Kovalev. And why it took such gumption for Hopkins to make this fight, to actively seek to get in there with this guy.
The good thing for Hopkins is, for Kovalev is that he realizes now that he can't hurt Hopkins. That was going to be very important to him.
Yes, you can show a puncher that you can take his best shot. It's very discouraging.
It makes him very nervous. Now he knows that if he can land another punch on Hopkins, he can beat him. But what he does have to be careful of is the Chris Algieri, Ruslan Provodnikov situation. Get caught chasing him and allow Hopkins to get back in the fight.
Yeah, but that would require Hopkins to throw more punches, to generate volume like Algieri did against Provodnikov. And any volume Hopkins attempts against Kovalev opens him up for Kovalev's counter punches, and that may be too dangerous.
Yeah, but don't make no mistake about it. Hopkins can hurt anybody because he's a sneakish type fighter. He's not going to punch when you punch. He's going to wait for you to get yourself out of position and try to steer you with a big shot. Kovalev fighting very smart now.
There you go. Keep pushing. Take your time. Beat him slow. Take your time. Here. There you go. He's too old. Make it slow.
Those feints keep Bernard honest, keep him at home, and keep him thinking. And that's the best thing Kovalev can do. That's what most young fighters won't do to him. And you saw there, he didn't go at his head, he hit him on the arm.
John David Jackson, you hear yelling from the corner, there you go, he's too old, his feints are slow. John David Jackson believing, it seems, that Kovalev can box at this pace with Hopkins and has the younger man's reflexes enough to get his punches home anyway.
Hopkins mustered no offense here in the second round. Logic tells you he's already 3 points behind on the scorecards.
All right, you're finding your rhythm. All we missing is the chain. You're finding your rhythm. All right, and that's a good, and we have to. We can't go in there ignorant. You have to find your place. You're finding your place. Start working behind that chain and keep them investments alive, man. This guy, he stopped swinging because he don't want to get tired.
Give me threes and fours. Let the hands go. Give me the combination, okay? And don't forget the body. That's good work. That's good work. You want another bench? You're good. The small one.
You gotta go first. You gotta go first, Sergey.
No rush.
Chase him.
Keep doing what you're doing. That jab is good. Keep touching. Try hitting him everywhere.
You're doing good.
Right?
You're doing good.
Good work, baby.
Good job, man.
Take your time. Let's go.
Albia box numbers through 2 rounds. Hopkins 6 out of 21. That's 2 rounds. Kovalev 15 out of 60. No way Bernard Hopkins was the winner of either round on the scorecards. Down 3.
Were we just interpreting English?
Manager was talking at the same time.
Okay, because I couldn't understand that.
I'll be happy to interpret English for you if you need it.
Interesting watching Kovalev's face in the corner as though he's trying to control his emotions, not get too excited, control his breathing, not get ahead of himself, keep doing what he's doing.
He's landing punches, and Bernard's not throwing.
Which is what he better do, because that's what Bernard is going to start doing now. That's when you know that Bernard is beginning to get frustrated. So he better keep his head in the fight, because the real Bernard Hopkins has just shown up.
And the Hopkins fans cheer the foul.
Bernard deserved a warning for that because it was so blatant and intentional.
This is not a great referee. The best referee in the building was the guy who did the Abregu Ali fight moments ago.
You got to give it to Bernard, though, after that blatant trip. He pointed to it as though he wanted credit for a knockdown.
Right, exactly.
That's why I said the real Bernard Hopkins has just showed up.
Yep. Kovalev gets him into a corner, lands a 1-2. Hopkins coming back. Almost got Kovalev with the left hook.
Yeah, he did get Kovalev with the left hook. And I told you, he waited a little while, let a little bit of the steam blow off Kovalev, then he'll start trying to sneak him.
Lulled Kovalev to sleep, made it seem as though he had nothing for him, and sneaked him with a real good left hook.
And he just tried him with a real good right hand. But Kovalev is doing a great job of making Bernard Hopkins use his legs. That's how you work an old fighter. You have to make him use his legs. If you make him use his legs, he can't continue to be as strong as he normally is in the late round. The only thing Kovalev is forgetting right here is to go to the body. And I hear John David now screaming, body, body, body.
Jabbing to the body there. A jab to the body from Kovalev is a meaningful punch.
He still got a quick going at Bernard's head. Right now he's trying so hard to land that right hand on Bernard's head, and it's not the right punch to land right now.
Well, if he forgets the body and keeps going to the head, the knockdown might have been fool's gold.
Yeah, but you saw how he got caught with a shot just then, looking for a headshot. That's what Bernard wants.
So if you're in front of Bernard, showing him your repertoire for a couple rounds, he knows exactly what to do. The question is, at his age, does he have the reflexes to pull it off?
Every time Bernard walks himself into a corner, you can almost feel Kovalev salivating. Caught him with another hard shot there. Kovalev rallied to end the round.
Only chance he got is when you're against the ropes. Only chance he got is when you're on the rope or in the corner. If you lean on them ropes, X, this young boy can fire on.
Here you see Hopkins land a good left hook on Kovalev's chin, right on the chin. The best punch he probably landed all night long. Then you see him playing possum in the corner and come with a beautiful straight right lead because Kovalev is right there in that no parking zone.
And squared up.
Yes. And that's what I said he can't afford to do.
Philadelphia heavyweight Bryant Jennings seated at ringside, no doubt rooting for B-Hop. CompuBox numbers in round 3. Hopkins was 4 of 12. Kovalev was 14 out of 50. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, I got it 3-0, 30-26, Sergey Kovalev. You know, Jim, you got to give an extra point for the knockdown in round 1. I tell you something. If he were my fighter, I would turn him loose. No thinking, no nothing. Just jump on Hopkins. Jump on him, hit him, and get him out of here. Because I don't see Hopkins doing a damn thing except covering up and bobbing and weaving. I mean, every time Kovalev moves in, he hurts him. That's all there is to it. 3-0, Sergey Kovalev.
Harold, you may be right, you so frequently are. But boy, if you go all out on Hopkins, you better make sure you get him out of there because Kovalev's never been past 8.
And you believe me, that's what Hopkins is banking on right now. All he wants to do is keep Kovalev punching to hopefully get him worn down by the 8th round. Then he'll come on and start trying to steal the last part of the fight and hope that he can steal enough that they would give him the decision because he is 49 years old.
Round 8, of course, is when Muhammad Ali got George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle.
Think about what we just said, guys. The 49-year-old fighter wants to get the 31-year-old into the late rounds because he thinks he can beat him with superior conditioning.
And that's what it is, though.
Well, except you see how relaxed Hopkins is, even under this assault, and how anxious Kovalev still seems in the corner.
But he's getting hit. Bernard is getting hit flush with hard shots much more frequently than I personally have ever seen before.
Yeah, but he's knocking the hell out of Kovalev every chance he gets to.
Well, he is very relaxed, but Kovalev can all the way relax you with a right or left hand.
He can put you to sleep. There's a good right hand by Kovalev again, and Hopkins backs away.
Well, it was a good body shot by Hopkins at the same time.
Caught him in the corner, hit him with two hard right hands.
That was a good right hand combination by Kovalev. Very smart combination because he kept his distance.
All those jabs to the body are scoring for Kovalev. That right hand scores as well.
I think Kovalev is beginning to get a little bit frustrated because he can't really hit Hopkins with the right hand to the head. This is the fight that Hopkins wants.
Perhaps true, but I don't think Kovalev has lost a round yet.
Agreed.
Yeah, but here's what's happening. He's slowing up, but he's busying you. What I need you to do, anything you fire, he gonna hop out too. What I need you to do is I need hard feints if you don't fire, because he's gonna hop out too. You can't let him busy you up by him just making action.
Time and keep touching him. But go back downstairs a little bit. He's gonna drop his hands, you're gonna knock him out cold. Beautiful work. Take your time like you're doing. No rush. He don't want to fight. He want to bullshit his way through it. It's your time. Fuck him. Keep doing what you're doing.
Round 5 of a scheduled 12. So far, Kovalev appears to have won all 4 of the rounds, and he knocked Hopkins down with a right cross in round 1.
Well, you got to think about it. I mean, in Hopkins' case, you never expected him to come out and blow Kovalev away in the first 3 or 4 rounds. You knew that he knows Kovalev has not gone the distance ever in his career. So why would he not wait and try to win the last 4 rounds, or maybe try to even get Kovalev out after the 8-round limit? Kovalev went 8 rounds 1 time.
Kovalev almost flirted with the danger of hitting Hopkins in the back of the head as Bernard ducked down in front of him.
Hopkins did talk yesterday, though, about having to get on the inside of Kovalev's power and to outmaneuver him on the inside. And punchers don't like to punch, to fight off that back foot, don't like to move backward. And I'm a little surprised that Hopkins hasn't at least tried to muscle Kovalev in that direction so far.
Not yet, Max. He's still giving Kovalev time to wear down. If you look at him, look how he's fighting. He's fighting very smart, waiting on Kovalev to tire. Kovalev is not really investing enough in his body yet, because if he would, then Bernard would start to show a little bit of a different reaction. But that's what John Davis is asking him to do, but he's not really doing enough yet. See how Hopkins took a gamble right there? That's what Hopkins wants, just a gamble every now and then until after round 7 or round 8. Then he'll pick up the pace.
Hopkins just missing with the hard right-hand counter shot. Would have done damage if it had landed.
But you also notice Kovalev is not throwing as many punches now.
Well, Kovalev told us yesterday that he's quite comfortable fighting at a slow pace, even though he was throwing 90 punches around when he blew away Nathan Cleverly to first become a light heavyweight champ. He's slowed the pace in several fights since then. And he said that he wouldn't mind fighting at a 40 punch a round rate with Hopkins. It's perfectly okay with him.
Which seems like a very bad strategy on the surface. But so far it's working.
That right there, what he's doing is the best thing he can do. Make Hopkins use those old legs. That's the best thing he can do. In doing that, that wears Hopkins down as well.
I think Hopkins was hurt by something on the inside, maybe a right hook.
But see how you making Hopkins work on defense? This is what guys don't do to Hopkins. They don't keep him busy and make him work his legs. They allow him to fight 30 seconds of every round, and Kovalev is not allowing him to do that right now.
There's been a fair amount of infighting in this round. So far, Kovalev's skin is holding up. There's no blood around his eyes, meaning that Bernard hasn't been able to get anything done with his vaunted and well-respected head.
And the way Kovalev landed that right hook on the inside, he stepped back, he shortened the arc of the punch. He's showing a little more wrinkle to his offense, I think, than Hopkins gave him credit for heading into the fight.
And the activity level is all Kovalev to this point in the fight.
You're rolling nice, but you're not planting the investment. That needs you to relax. Trust your defense. Roll it under there, man. Smother, get close to that guy. Land your shots. Gotta trust your defense. Gotta trust your chain. All right, right now you're not trusting your weapon. All right, he's not going to hit you.
Here you see Kovalev, after they get close, he avoids the head, which Hopkins put it straight down. He landed a good right hand on the ear right there, and landed another good right hand as Hopkins was trying to do the same. Beating Hopkins at his own game.
CompuBox numbers in round 5. Hopkins was 8 out of 19. The 8 punches landed, highest number in the fight so far for Bernard. But Kovalev was 10 of 47 and landed those hard right-hand shots that Roy described for you. Now there's some red marking outside the left eye of Kovalev. Looks as though that eye might ultimately break open and show blood. Body shots. And a right hand upstairs by Kovalev. And he grins at Hopkins.
Because Hopkins told him to come on. Oh, there he is. Good shot.
Hopkins at this age to even roll to the extent he's rolling those punches to take, it's amazing. He's losing every round. Kovalev is making him look old, but he's amazing to watch.
Some of the best defense ever.
But Kovalev lands the right over the top.
Well, in the Hopkins narrative, the Chad Dawson fights are often conveniently overlooked. Dawson wasn't a puncher, and he's a very different style than Kovalev, but on his youth and speed and length, he was able to dominate Hopkins, and really in both fights, especially the rematch.
Well, the first fight only lasted about a round and a half. And some say Bernard wanted out. Dawson did drop him with a pro wrestling style body drop.
And though Kovalev is a very different kind of fighter than Dawson, he has those snappy young reflexes. And it's making Hopkins look old.
But as you see, Hopkins is still gambling after him every now and then. Just took a good gamble with a straight right lead. Didn't land, but it's a great gamble. And if the fight goes 3 or 4 more rounds, he'll start to land that shot.
Shumanov and Cloud didn't have that kind of athleticism.
Well, they didn't have the footwork and the balance that Kovalev has. Kovalev can box, keep Bernard at a distance to where Bernard has to stay worried and not be as calm and relaxed as he usually is with the younger guys. See, right there, he has to respect Kovalev right there. That's what those other guys can't do. They can't demand respect at that distance. Good right hand body shot by Hopkins.
Pascal was more athletic, but tended to fade in fights and was not the fighter Kovalev is.
Can't say he wasn't the fighter. He just didn't know how to preserve himself as well as Kovalev does.
Good activity at the end by Kovalev. Just missed with a hard right hand that might have finished the fight if he had landed it on Bernard's chin.
Deep breath, deep breath. All he's trying to do is survive now. You got him scared. When you get a chance, cut that ring off. Make him fight you. Touch him, okay? Don't keep following around. Cut the ring off. He got to fight you then. Okay, baby, okay. You're doing your thing.
Working a shorter distance. I need it from up there.
I need every round from here.
every round.
He gonna fade for us, X, as long as we invest. He getting confident, so he's swinging big. And that's gonna be his downfall, son. He can't hit you clean. Get that left hand up.
I got you.
My man, fire that jab from there. Move your hands underneath.
CompuBox numbers for total punches through round 6. Hopkins 29 out of 81. Kovalev 65 out of 254. More than tripling Bernard's number of thrown punches. Let's see if, as we come to the 7th round, Harold Letterman has Kovalev 7 points ahead. Harold, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, I got it 60-53, 6 rounds to nothing. Sergey Kovalev. Jim, I'll tell you something. Bernard Hopkins is doing this thing. He lays on the ropes, and then he throws a shot, and then he rolls away. And I can't see it no how. I think Kovalev hits him every time he rolls away. It's not a great defensive move in my estimation, but he's doing it an awful lot. He's trying to get in a punch, and then he just rolls away. Gets low, rolls away. If you ask me, I think Bernard Hopkins really at this stage wants 2 aspirin in a glass of water and don't want to be here. 6-0, Sergey Kovalev.
Might be right, Harold. It looks that way, but again, Kovalev never been past 8, and I've learned enough to not write Hopkins off.
The thing about the never been past 8 part, and let's just assume for a second that Kovalev falls apart in the last 4 rounds of the fight because of that. Still, because of the scoring to this point, Bernard would need knockdowns or a knockout to win it. Requires a kind of power that he hasn't often shown.
Bernard's hitting him here.
Just hit Kovalev with probably the best right hand he hit it with all night.
Kovalev can cut.
Crowd chanting, "Be Hop." Kovalev trying to answer Hopkins' right hands with right hand thunder of his own.
That's a mistake he's making. He should continue hitting his body and his arms, just like John David told him before. Because if he continues to go at the head, his head is going to be liable to be taken off as well.
Hopkins landed a jab. It's 1 punch at a time for Bernard.
And it may not be true, but the sense of fighters who haven't been tested late in fights is that it could all unravel very quickly when they are. May not be true in Kovalev's case, but there's always that feeling that it could be.
No one has ever knocked out Bernard Hopkins.
Hey, stop.
Or stopped him.
Watch the low blow to him, Bernard.
Kovalev
Come on, keep it clean.
has knockouts or stoppages in 23 of 25 fights coming in.
Not swinging. That's the only reason we ain't won, because we're not throwing our combination. It's the only reason we ain't won. You threw one right hand, his whole leg wiggled the fuck out. This kid ain't used to hitting him back. And he ain't used to being this far. He getting deep in the fight. Get that motherfucking jab popping, let your combinations go. One right hand, man. Get the left hand and get the left hand up in position. That's where the jab came from. You dropping it back out. Keep the left hand up, pop from there. That right hand won't be there. This kid ain't used to getting hit, man. You did the body work.
Here you see Bernard Hopkins counter Kovalev's jab with a straight right hand and a left hook. And they both kind of traded punches, but it forced Kovalev back, which is what Bernard wants to do. If he can keep making him go back every now and then, that's a win-win for him.
Here comes round 8, and the point has been made several times. Sergey Kovalev has never been beyond round 8 in a professional fight. But he's piling up points on Harold Letterman's unofficial scorecard.
He's never been past 8 because he knocks everyone out. And Hopkins has been hit and dropped in this fight.
And since that knockdown in round 1, Hopkins has taken some, but very few calculated risks trying to do damage to Kovalev, and has generally allowed Kovalev to carry the momentum of the fight and dominate the activity of the fight.
And Kovalev is very smart, as you see right there.
Good body shot.
Making Hopkins use those legs, then going back to the body. Smartest thing he could do.
In the center of the ring, where Bernard has his best chance to get something done. Kovalev trying to back him up onto the ropes again. Now Hopkins is in the corner, and this is where Kovalev begins to cut loose.
Got to make him use those legs. Can't let him preserve his legs to throw big punches. Like that.
Down. Well, I thought he was going to go down. Hopkins weathered that right hand, but he's in trouble in the corner. And now Kovalev backs off.
He took a really good punch from Kovalev there.
Sure did.
A very good punch. Very impressed by the old man.
Most Kovalev opponents go down on that right hand.
Yeah, they do.
Well, it's hard to say how a guy Hopkins' age is supposed to respond to this, because there's never been anyone Hopkins' age in a fight like this.
Yeah, even Archie Moore didn't make it to 49.
Nope.
Active at this level.
He just hit Kovalev with a good body shot coming in, too. A good hook by Kovalev.
That right hand seemed to have woken Hopkins up. The question is, if he takes more risks and gets more aggressive, will Kovalev put him to sleep?
Kovalev sticking his jab. Gets in a right hand again. Kovalev has landed double figures power punches in the round. Hopkins lands a right, the crowd goes berserk. Sergey Kovalev will go to the 9th round for the first time in his professional career.
As soon as you went forward, what happened? Lock them hands up, you got to. It's the only chance we got. If you ain't capable of doing it, gotta let me know, because that's the only chance we got. You gotta put them hands up, you gotta push him back. He can't fight in close. You gotta put them hands up, push him back. Double that jab up. Get his back. Don't reach. Double the jab up, don't reach.
Here you see Kovalev throw a jab at Hopkins and follow with that same right hand over the top of Hopkins' jab, high on the top of the head, and that explains why Hopkins was able to take the punch so well. The punch landed high on the top of that alien head, and he often can take those punches because they're not on the button.
Still some strength in those legs.
Yeah, it is.
That's what kept him up. Round 9 begins. And now we're into what Hopkins would have described as deep water for Kovalev, because Sergey's never been to the 9th round of a pro fight. But on Harold Letterman's unofficial scorecard, he's got the kind of scoring pad that makes that seem irrelevant.
But you see, Hopkins has already done something that no one who's ever fought Kovalev has. Here he is in the 9th round.
He's a wily veteran, the best fighter by far that Kovalev has ever faced as a professional.
And he's also throwing about 15 punches per round, so that he's not taking many risks or opening him up to counter shot, or opening himself up to counter shots from Kovalev. So there is a science involved in just extending the fight to the 9th round, but it doesn't, up to this point, involve a formula for winning the fight.
No, other guys have tried to do what Hopkins is doing too to Kovalev and survive, and they haven't been able to do it. But you're right, he's losing every round.
Nobody has tried to survive by throwing 15 punches around. Nobody has been that impatient or had that type of patience to hold themselves from throwing over 15 punches around.
Right.
Only the alien can come up with that strategy.
Well, he's never minded if the crowd booed.
Of course. He said all of his career he spent putting the crowds to sleep, and now he's trying to wake them up and become a little bit more entertaining, but this is not the guy to do it with early in the fight.
A brilliant New York Times Magazine article on Kovalev accurately described the Hopkins formula for winning as taking the fight out of the fight. And a simple way to look at tonight coming in was the more fight there was in the fight, the better the chance for Kovalev. The less fight there was in the fight, the better the chance for Hopkins. There's been enough fight for Kovalev to be well ahead.
A good right hand by Hopkins again. And that's all he wants to do, land one every now and then and see if he ever can hurt Kovalev. If he ever can hurt Kovalev, he'll go at him.
Yeah, but actually, Jim, the pace is more of a Hopkins-style pace than a Kovalev-style pace. And so that's, you're right, that's as good as Hopkins can do, and it's not good enough. So far.
Coming into tonight's fight, in his last 8 fights, Bernard Hopkins had averaged throwing about 38 punches per round. Tonight, he's throwing 12 punches per round.
Because he has to be careful, Jim. He's fighting a guy that really can crack.
Yep.
The more punches he throws, the more he's liable to get caught in between them. So he has to be really careful with a big puncher like Kovalev. He can't waste punches. He can't take risks. He's not a risk taker anyway. Never has been.
And a guy who can cut the ring forces the boxer to move more than he has to move.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work. He has nothing left. Nothing left. You do what you want to do. Take your time, and you take your time, all right? No rush. Keep doing your thing. Beautiful work.
3 more rounds. You gotta put it inside.
He see Kovalev come in and a good straight right lead that was not so high on the head. It was right on the button, actually. Bernard took it well. He rolled with it, so it wasn't so effective, but at the same time, I think he's just starting to tire a little bit.
We've mentioned that Kovalev has never been past the 8th round before, and now he's into the 10th round here. He has, of course, sparred 12 rounds. He sparred 12 4-minute rounds twice in this camp, getting ready for Hopkins. Harold, how do you have it up to this point?
Okay, Jim, I got it 9 rounds to nothing. 90-80, Sergey Kovalev. You know, Jim, I think Bernard Hopkins takes a tremendous punch, has a lot of respect for Kovalev's right hand, but, you know, what can you say? Kovalev doing a number on him, hitting him harder in every single round, gets an extra point for the knockdown, and finds himself in the late rounds 10 points ahead, and I don't see him slowing down one bit. 9-0, Sergey Kovalev.
Well, it's not over yet. You know, you can't never count the old man out. He has a strategy. I'm sure he had a strategy coming in.
But he hasn't had a knockdown, a knockout in 10 years. And at this point, it appears he would need a knockout to win this fight.
Without a doubt.
And Hopkins relies on using the other fighter's nature against them, too. And Kovalev is not fighting a greedy fight. When he gets the upper hand, when he lands a punch or two, he gets out and resets and doesn't give Hopkins a chance to counter anything.
He's very smart and very disciplined.
That's what we've learned tonight, incidentally. If we've learned anything at all about Kovalev, is that he is extremely smart and knows how to manage himself in there. It is not just a knockout destruction every time. Good hard left hooks by Kovalev, driving Hopkins back into the ropes.
Good jab to the body by Kovalev.
Smartest punch he can throw.
It also seems Kovalev has the kind of power that when Hopkins has some success in an exchange, he tastes that Kovalev power and thinks, let me get out of here.
And that helps Kovalev in a sense because it's hard for Hopkins. Oh, good right hand by Hopkins.
Oh, I think Kovalev did a little dance there.
But as Hopkins takes the wrist, he opens himself up to take leather from Kovalev. This is the most entertaining round of the fight. They're trading punches now.
Of course, that's what Hopkins wants to do. It's late in the fight. It's past the 8th round. This is when he's going to take his gamble.
Hopkins got the worst of that exchange, but he landed some very big right hands, and Kovalev felt them.
There appears to be a red mark on the bridge of Bernard Hopkins' nose. I'm not certain that it's bleeding yet, but it does appear that Kovalev has left the bowling club.
Oh, good hook.
Hard left hook by Kovalev to punctuate round 10.
Good work, good work, good work. Deep breath.
2 more rounds. Don't be careless.
What round is this?
Come on.
More, I got you, I got you.
We need all these right here. They got us down, okay? Go in behind your jab and push him back and jump on his ass from the body up. He hurt. And stay off the ropes. That's the only chance he got with him.
Here you see Kovalev land 4 clean punches. 1, 2, which was a great right hand, a left hook, and followed by another jab. Hopkins had no answer, but then Hopkins comes back with a beautiful overhand right that he didn't show, and probably evened the round up.
At that moment. But Kovalev finished the round with a solid left hook, and prior to that, a couple of other combinations.
I think that left hook was the best left hook he's landed. Oh, good hook by Hopkins. The left hook was the best hook that Kovalev landed all night.
The right hand by Hopkins may have been the best punch in the fight since Kovalev knocked Hopkins down in the first round.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Five and a half minutes left for Hopkins to try to do something to turn this around.
Well, he's doing things, and he's having success in spots, but not enough to turn it around.
That's the smartest thing Kovalev can do, is use that jab to keep him working like that. Make him have to reach.
If Kovalev's still thinking knockout, it's a mistake. At this point, he needs to be thinking of finishing the fight, buttoning down what he's done up to this point.
We heard Nazim Richardson throughout the fight pleading with Hopkins for more activity. Not only to wear Kovalev down a little bit, but I think to put some doubt in Kovalev's mind, so that as these later rounds approached, he would doubt himself. And Hopkins hasn't done that, and consequently, in spite of Bernard's big shots here and there, Kovalev remains very confident and disciplined.
Let him go, let him go. Okay, stop. Let's start wrestling. Come on, we wrestling. Let him go. Back up.
He realizes that he can take Hopkins' best punch pretty much. He's taken that on several different occasions, so he really feels like he has nothing to worry about.
Push your head down, man. Come on, man. All right, hey, don't lean on. Put your head up too, man. Let's go. All right, let him go. Let the head go. Let the head go. Come on, man. Come on, back up. Watch the camera, man.
No sign that Kovalev is tiring or wearing down yet.
No, he's getting a little bored, but he's not tired and he's not wearing down.
He is fighting with his mouth open.
He's been doing that since round 3.
Yeah. Maybe a little wider now in this round.
Hopkins gets in a left hook. Only 3 minutes left in what has so far been Sergey Kovalev's undressing of Bernard Hopkins.
Right down, stay right there.
Yeah, right. You gotta put him down.
Last round, touch ball center ring.
He's from my head.
Come out the last round trying to get you.
So Bernard Hopkins' corner has told Bernard Hopkins that he needs a knockout to win the fight. And now there are 3 minutes left. Quite possibly 3 minutes left in Bernard Hopkins' career. But it's a new light heavyweight division. Kovalev has emerged. Adonis Stevenson, biding his time in Montreal, may eventually take a big fight against one of the other top fighters in the division. Who knows? Maybe we'll eventually get to see Stevenson fight Kovalev after all. Although one of the reasons that this fight took place is that Stevenson backed out of a reported agreement to do so. And there are other young light heavyweights on the way up.
Oh! Kovalev is hurt.
Hurt by a left hook.
Yeah, he hurt. I told you that's what Bernard was looking for. That's what he's been waiting for all night long.
Kovalev got caught a shot, went back, thought his leg was there, and it wasn't.
And now he thinks he wants to punish Hopkins.
Yeah, but that's the wrong thing to do at the wrong time.
He should button down his business and finish the fight.
There's some drama here in the 12th round. I don't know if Hopkins feels like Kovalev doesn't have the same mustard on his shots, but he seems less wary of Kovalev's punches.
Well, he caught a right hand there, and he's clowning to try to tell Kovalev he wasn't hurt, but he's getting hammered with hard shots in the corner right now.
He's going to try to knock Kovalev out with what Kovalev don't realize. Right there. This is a fight that Hopkins won't Kovalev to fight. It's stupid on Kovalev's part to trade with him. If he wears
Kovalev wants to knock him out.
Yeah, he does.
He's ambitious. Kovalev wants to put an exclamation point on it.
Yeah,
1 minute to go. He's dominated the fight. He's got it in the bag. He's taking risks and giving Bernard a chance.
Yeah, he sure is.
Seconds to go. Kovalev still trying to score a knockout.
Oh.
If Hopkins has anything left, he better put it behind one right hand right now.
And he would get Kovalev, because Kovalev is in bad trouble just walking ahead like that with his hands down.
Kovalev hammering Bernard Hopkins from pillar to post as we get to the final bell.
And guys, there were many who thought if it got rough for Hopkins, he would look for a way out.
He didn't.
But there he was in the 12th round, standing toe-to-toe with the most dangerous, biggest puncher in the light heavyweight division, taking shots clean off his head.
Like a
staggering
man.
Back into the corner like a champion.
Like a real man. You got to give Hopkins credit tonight.
Well, it's perfectly all right to give Hopkins credit, but he lost the fight. Big.
And Kovalev was not content with a points win. He went for the knockout and risked himself in doing it.
And landed 38 of 89 punches in the 12th round while going for that knockout. By far, the biggest round of the fight for Kovalev. Now, someday Kovalev and John David Jackson will watch the tape, and they'll say this maybe isn't the smartest round you've ever fought. But it was fun. Kovalev's corner lifts up the Russian fighter, obviously the winner of the fight. And Roy Jones, take us through some replays here.
Well, now we realized that last round that Kovalev was not hurt by a left hook. Hopkins threw a punch that landed on the neck, and their knees got tangled up, and that's what caused him to fall off balance. We thought it was a good punch, Here it is right there. You see the toes. You see the toe. He's off balance because their toes got jammed up. And that was not a real punch. It was a push to the throat. That's why Kovalev came back so hard, because he really wasn't hurt. So he came back and tried to take Hopkins out with punches like that right there. Hopkins takes one heck of a punch.
Boy, does he ever. What a chin.
That was a great punch by Kovalev. The cleanest you can ask to hit a man, and he took it like a champion.
The 38 punches that Kovalev landed in that 12th round are the most punches ever landed on Bernard Hopkins in one round in 41 different Hopkins fights tracked by CompuBox. Unquestionably, the most one-sided defeat of Bernard Hopkins' career. Let's see what kind of a job the judges have done.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of Caesars Atlantic City, we go to the scorecards. Carlos Ortiz and Clark Sammartino score the contest 120 to 107. Lawrence Layton has it 120 to 106. All three judges score it unanimously for the winner. And now the unified light heavyweight champion of the world from Russia with love, Sergey Crusher Kovalev.